healthcare system, and by Rural Insurance.
We are here at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin for a game that they maybe could have played on a big lake somewhere. It's the Sturgeon Bay Clippers against the Ashland Ore Dockers. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Socha, along with Beaver Dam head coach Charlie McDonald. Coach, what we have here are a couple of teams who know how to put the ball in the end zone, but they go about scoring in very different ways. Ashland loves to run the ball. Sturgeon Bay really likes to air it out when they can.
Well, they have. Chris Greisen, of course, their quarterback, has had a outstanding fall. He's throwing at about 55% completion ratio, and he's thrown for 16 touchdowns with only 5 intercepts. And anytime you have that kind of a ratio, that's impressive, particularly at the high school level.
Now, the Ore Dockers from Ashland can throw the ball, but they prefer to run out of the wishbone. They've probably got the best triple threat in the state, wouldn't you say?
They really have. You know, defending a wishbone's very, very difficult, and Ashland has built everything they do around speed. Sean Watland, of course, made a huge play last weekend in the victory over Black River Falls. I think about a 50-yard run late in the game. And he's not the only player back there. They've got another back, Sean Lund, who's run for 1,500 yards plus, 22 touchdowns. And, of course, Sean has run himself for 21 touchdowns. And they create some major, major problems for defense. And, again, I think it's based on speed.
You know, sometimes, Coach, you get these high-scoring teams going head-to-head, and what you get is a defensive struggle. Do you anticipate that, or are we looking at a lot of points today?
I do not imagine this to be a defensive struggle. I think to defend the option, the way they run it is very, very difficult, and I think the key thing for Sturgeon Bay will be to try to keep the Ashland offense off the field. I know just from trying to defend a good wishbone team, it's very, very difficult.
It ought to be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm glad I'm up here. It's nice and warm, and I do think that Sturgeon Bay also can run the football pretty well, so it's going to be interesting.
Looking forward to it. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a minute, but right now, these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies, and the Marshfield Clinic.
Pride. Dedication. They're not just words to the young men and women who make it to the
They go on to win the Division V state championship. What a finish it was here earlier today at Camp Randall. 1st and 10 for Sturgeon Bay, running to the right side out to about the 40-yard line. Not much more than that is Chad Hoyska. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Sturgeon Bay, they've got that real good offensive line. A couple of key guys to watch. Number 77, Zach Juatis. Excellent range as a pass blocker. Jeff Sly, number 71, also a very good player. In the backfield, Chris Greisen will start at quarterback. Ellenbecker and Hoyska really do a good job out of the backfield, but look for them to throw the ball, and probably their key go-to guy, Chris Bellin, their tight end, number 89. He's very good. 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. Penalty flag and a whistle, and it looks like they're going to call this one against Ashland, Coach.
I believe they had an offside penalty on the defense, and of course it's a big play right here to start the ball game off for Sturgeon Bay.
Ashland defense has had a nice year. They will give up some points, but they're pretty tough once they get near the goal line. But Day, Moravchek, Arbuckle, all sound players. Wilmer and Sandor round out the defensive line. They'll go with 2 inside linebackers, Lund and Bergschneider, and the defensive backfield has some real stars, and we'll talk about this game about that backfield as this game progresses. 2nd down, we'll call it about 4 yards to go for Sturgeon Bay from their own 45, and as we told you, they like to throw it. Intercepted by Ashland on their own 35-yard line. And, Coach, we knew Sturgeon Bay was going to throw early. They didn't expect that kind of result.
That was a great defensive play.
All right, we're going to take a break. No score early on the turnover. These messages coming up next from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Quarterback Chris Greisen came into the game with only 5 interceptions on the year. Unfortunately for him and his Sturgeon Bay Clipper teammates, this is number 6, play action fake, and the wind may be a factor, Coach. That may have held this ball up just a little, but again, good defense by the Ashland secondary.
They threw that ball right into the wind directly, but of course I thought the defensive back made an outstanding play on the ball.
1st and 10 for Ashland from its own 34-yard line. That is Jason Zack at quarterback. He'll try to option to the near side, and actually he gave it to his fullback, Paul Tudor, up the middle. Very short game. Let's take a look at that Ashland offense. Madej, Sandor, Davis, Bergschneider, and Yankee up front. Jason Zack, normally not a starter, but because of an injury to Mike Shemlock, he is in there at quarterback again this week, but he's got that great backfield we talked about in the pregame, and a couple of ends who really are basically blockers on this football team. 2nd down and 9 for the Yordockers from their own 36. Here's the fake, optioning to the near side with the ball. That looks like Watland, and he's got room. Cuts back to 45, the 40. You can forget about it. Sean Watland is going to go all the way. 64-yard touchdown, and Ashland jumps out in front 6-0, and we've played a little more than 2 minutes here.
That was a beautifully executed, just a straight option with the pitch. He delivered the ball beautifully, and of course he caught the ball in stride, and with that kind of speed, it's going to be tough to stop him.
Very reminiscent to the play that won them the game last week against Black River Falls to get here. Late in the game, Watland took the pitch coming to the near side and made a couple of nice cutbacks, and basically went in untouched. That guy, they told us he had great moves, Coach. I'm a believer after watching that.
Well, I think the key thing is speed. When you run that wishbone like they do, and everything they do is built around speed, and that's a major problem for anybody on defense. Eric
Lund's kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:39 here to go in the first quarter, Ashland out on top, 7-0. We'll be back in a minute. Now these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and the Marshfield Clinic.
I think we probably have more rheumatologists in one place than any place else in the state. I think the more rheumatologists who work together and put their heads together to help patients, we tend to get new ideas. Why don't we bring in this kind of a person to help? Why don't we get more staff involvement from this point of view? So in that sense, the more rheumatologists you have, the more ideas, the better programs you really provide for patients. Patient care is number 1 here. Always has been.
My husband Mark and I planned on a lot of things. A nice house, sending our son to college, and a comfortable retirement. We didn't plan on his early death. Mark made a lot of promises.
Don't worry, Mom, I'll study hard.
And you know, he kept those promises.
Protect your family's dreams. See a rural security agent about life insurance. Our most important policy is caring.
Sean Watland had 21 touchdowns coming into the state championship game. Now he has 22 because of this 64-yard touchdown run on the option to the left side. A spectacular cutback, and he went all the way untouched into the end zone, and Ashland has the 7-0 lead. Here's the kickoff. Sturgeon Bay returning, trying to get to this near side is John Walker, and he's going to run out of room at about the 21-yard line. So this time, Sturgeon Bay's field position not quite as good.
John Walker, who lined up that time to handle a kickoff, is going to line up as a flanker or else come out of the backfield. He'll come out in motion from a power eye look, and has been an outstanding receiver. He's averaging 22 yards per catch, so he's certainly a threat.
Little discussion between the officials. Coach, what does it do to a kid's confidence? Chris Greisen throws the ball a lot, and his first pass here today, he intercepted. Do you go right back to the pass?
I think that Chris is such a sound player. They've had so much success that he's going to handle that fine. I think the coverage was pretty good on that last set, and I noticed that he did throw the ball to the motion man, John Walker, who is right now is set as a flanker to the left side. They're in with 2 tight ends, and it's a straight eye formation, and this is where we'll see them in a good share of the offensive plays.
Greisen up under center from the 35-yard line after the penalty, and again he's going to throw, same play, and this one is caught by number 83, Jim Adams. Big gain for the first down, all the way down to the Ashland 45-yard line.
I think that answered the question you asked me. He set up and threw the ball right on the money. Well done.
Good-looking play, and just like the interception, this one was juggled, but this time Sturgeon Bay managed to come down with it.
Yes, an excellent catch, I think, and he was covered pretty well.
Okay, first down for Sturgeon Bay from the 46-yard line. 9:11 to go here in the Division III state championship game from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. And as we expected, we've seen a lot of fireworks early in this game. It could be a real wild one. Here's inside for very, very short yardage. That was number 44, Corey Hunsater, who came into the game for one play, replacing Tom Ellenbecker. 5'10", 165-pounder. Ellenbecker, now the up back in that I formation, is back in the game. Second down, and we'll call it about 9.
A key back to watch, I think, right now is the tailback, Chad Hueska, has scored 35 touchdowns in 1993, which is a tremendous amount.
Hueska sets up about 5 yards behind the quarterback, Bryson. Second down and 9. Again, there's that play action, throwing to the near side. Another completion. John Walker inside the 30, out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Yeah, I'll check that. That was not Walker. That was number 89, Chris Bellin. And we've heard a lot about Bellin, a 6-foot, 238-pound tight end who really isn't fancy, but his nickname is Train, and you can see why here. He just likes to run over people whenever he can. Another first down for the Clippers, and they're moving quickly into Ashland territory. Right up the middle for about 3 yards, and again, that's Corey Hunsater.
Ashland is playing a 52 defense, just straight up right now, and they may have to make some adjustment, I think, as they continue to throw the ball.
Second down and about 6.5 yards to go. We're down to 8:18 here to go in quarter number 1. We're glad you joined us from all across the state today. We've already seen one good football game, and this is shaping up to be another one here. This is the second of 6 games here at Camp Randall over the next 2 days. One lone back, and that's Hueska, and again, Bryson throws, and again, it's complete to Bellin. Bellin inside the 15, lost the ball. It's loose, and Ashland has it on its own 5-yard line. The Ore Doctors recover deep in their own territory. Wow, Coach, that's a big mistake. You're on the move, and again, you turn the ball over when you're going in for almost a certain 6 points.
That was really a tough situation. Here you look at just a quick screen to the tight end, and it appears that the helmet of 43 was right on the ball. It popped up, and a tremendous break for Ashland at this point, because it looked as though Sturgeon Bay was going to score the way they were moving the football.
So with a 7-0 lead, Ashland gets it back on its own 6-yard line, and they're just going to try to get some breathing room. Straight ahead, the up back there, that looks like Paul Tudor out to about the 10-yard line.
This is a tremendous challenge, I think, for the defensive kids to defend this wishbone. Of course, so much depends on how your perimeter kids can play. Your linebackers, your defensive ends, and the pursuit from those other kids, it will be vital for Sturgeon Bay to contain this. People have had a big problem stopping this team.
One receiver split wide to the right. That's Pat Jolma, number 10, top of your screen. Everybody else in tight on this second down and 6 yards to go. Zach dropped the ball, and I think it's going back to Sturgeon Bay. Back-to-back turnovers, and the Clippers are in business. Number 44, Corey Hunsater, you've heard his name a lot, running out of the fullback on offense, playing linebacker on defense, and he was in the right spot at the right time here. So we've played a little less than 5 minutes, and we've already seen 3 turnovers in what's been kind of a sloppy football game so far. First and goal for the Clippers from the 6.5-yard line of Ashland. A chance here to maybe go in for the tying touchdown. Bryson will give it to the deep back straight ahead inside the 5-yard line. That looked like Quinn Mann, number 24, getting the carry. Good gain on first down.
Sturgeon Bay stayed in the power I formation, which they're probably going to do on the goal line. And I would assume right now they're going to run the ball at Ashland.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Again, they'll go with 3 guys in the backfield. One of them, number 84, John Walker, the flanker. Straight ahead, quarterback sneak. That's Chris Bryson. Is he in or not? Not quite, and that's going to bring up third down and a little more than 1 yard to go for the touchdown. Jim Sosha, Charlie McDonald, the head coach at Beaver Dam here from Camp Randall on kind of a cool, windy day, about 34 degrees at game time here. The wind was a little bit of a factor in game one, and it's kind of swirling. I was down on the field earlier. It's kind of swirling. It's kind of hard to tell which way it's blowing down on the field. 3rd and 1 for Sturgeon Bay, trying to punch it in. Straight ahead, inside, that looks like a touchdown for Sturgeon Bay, and it is. Number 24 goes in. That's Quinn Mann taking it in the end zone, and we have a 7-6 ball game. Quinn Mann, the 5'11 junior, 174-pounder, takes it in the end zone for the score, and quite a break for Sturgeon Bay, and they capitalized nicely on the turnover.
Well, there were two huge turnovers. They both happened about in the same place in the field, one by Sturgeon Bay and one by Ashland. So it's kind of evened up right now, and I think we're going to have a tie ball game. We can put this through.
Bryson's kick is up. It looks good, and it is. And we're tied 7-7 with 5:51 here to go in the first quarter. Let's take another look at the touchdown, Coach.
Power eye and isolation play, and of course the tailback got off the ball very well, and a good lead block, and the kids in the line of scrimmage did a nice job.
Well, again, as we saw in game one, turnovers can be so critical here. All 3 scores in our first game of the day came after turnovers, and right here Sturgeon Bay gets on the board after Ashland lost the ball on a fumble.
It really was significant in that first game. All the first 2 resulted in long drives for touchdown, and of course the third one ended up being a short drive, just 50 seconds to go, a 2-yard situation. But so far today, it's been interesting how they've had such a huge effect on these 2 ball games.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame show. Every once in a while, you get these highly powered offenses together, and they fizzle out in a state championship game. But you said, Jim, they're going to put a lot of points on the board, and so far you're looking pretty good.
Well, I think that they will. I just having talked to some people about Ashland and the things they do offensively, and when you have speed like they have, it happens so quickly. You may stop them for 6 plays, but the 7th play, you could get hurt.
Bryson's kick is short. It comes down the middle of the field, picked up by Eric Lund, and he's got room out beyond the 35, out past the 40, all the way to the 42-yard line. Not a long kick, and Lund took advantage of it. Nothing fancy on the return either. He's just going to go right behind that wedge blocking, and a big hole opens up, and the Ordockers are in just tremendous field position to start this drive. Again, they'll run out of the wishbone formation, split wide to the near side, number 10, Pat Jolma, 1st and 10 from the 42. Deep back gets it out to the 50-yard line. That's Sean Lund. Picks up about 8.5 yards, which is about 4 yards below his season average, if you can believe that. He came into this game averaging 12 yards per carry. That's unbelievable.
I don't think I ever have seen a high school team where you have 2 backs that start. One ran for 1,512 yards coming in here, and the other for 1,360 yards. That's a lot of yards.
2nd down and 1, again out of the wishbone. They're going to be doing that all day long, we suspect. Jason Zack at quarterback. This time he'll give it to Watland. Watland's got the 1st down and then some, all the way down to the 44-yard line of Sturgeon Bay. Watland's the guy who got the first score of this football game, 64-yard run on the option to the near side. And again, he's well under his average. He's averaging 12 yards per carry, but I think head coach Bob McLeod would settle for 6 or 7 yards a carry. If you could tell him he'd have that all day long. 1st and 10 for the Dockers from the 44. Again, good yardage for Lund. He breaks the tackle, and he's got about 8 or 9 more.
Ashland likes to run behind Dan Bergschneider and, of course, T.J. Yankee, both in the offensive line. They're both senior players and real dominating players, and I think that when you have those 2 solid linemen right there with the kind of speed behind them, again, as I said, it's going to be tough to stop them. You're going to have to try to just contain them and not give up the big play.
Jolma splits wide right. Jeff Forrester, number 85, the tight end on this near side. 2nd down and about 2 yards to go. Here's Watland. He's got the 1st down. Tries to cut back this time and takes it all the way down to the 32-yard line. Coach, how do you stop an effective wishbone like this?
Well, I think the one thing you try to do, at least when we've taught it, we played against a lot of wishbone teams, is to get penetration from those kids up front, to try to throw off some timing. And the second thing, of course, is I think your perimeter players have to be outstanding. And I think now you have to mix it up somewhat with your linebackers in the secondary. Usually with a 9-man front or a 10-man front.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Again, the option this time to counter, and Lund only picks up a couple that time. A minute ago, you just saw the Sturgeon Bay coaching staff, and you can bet that's what they're discussing. Obviously, they came into this game with a good game plan, but so far, Ashland has run the ball a little better than Gordy Sarin would like to see.
Well, they have, and of course, Ashland's only going to throw the ball maybe 2 or 3 times all afternoon, so you know, you're going to have to take some chances, and as I said, I think get those perimeter kids involved in attacking that offense.
2nd down and about 6 yards to go for Ashland from the 27-yard line. This time they give it to the up-back, Paul Tudor, and he powers ahead inside the 25-yard line. You know, it's really impressive when you look at a 3-back backfield and you look at a guy like Paul Tudor. Both teams, by the way, 12-0. I think we mentioned that already. Paul Tudor is probably statistically their weakest running back, but here's a guy with 874 yards and 14 touchdowns. And those are the least impressive credentials of the bunch back there.
That is really amazing to see that.
Player down on the field with an equipment problem. The officials stop the clock, an official timeout momentarily, and now we're all set to go. 3rd down and 2. I believe this is the first 3rd down situation that Ashland has had here in this first quarter. In motion to the near side is Sean Lund. They'll give it to Watland. He's got plenty of room, and there's that cutback move again all the way down to the 10, still on his feet to the 8. Fighting forward to the 7-yard line. What a run by Sean Watland.
That was an excellent call. They brought it back out of the backfield in motion, and of course, the defense loosened up a little bit, and they just ran right to off tackle. And of course, it was an excellent lead block, and it was an excellent run by the back.
Wow, a tremendous hole up front there. Beautiful block by Eric Bidet, number 77. He just overpowered his man. So, 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. We're tied 7-7, but Ashland in scoring position here with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Jason Zack gives it straight ahead of the up-back. Tudor, not much room there.
But I think they do like that right side where Bert Schneider and Yankee are playing. As I mentioned before, they're 2 excellent linemen, and I think that when they get down near the goal line like this, that's going to be a spot that they're going to look to go.
Number 1, Jim Verbose is in the game. He's a wide receiver. The 5'11" junior. 2nd down and goal just inside the 5-yard line. Jason Zack under center. Straight ahead, and they're not going to get in the end zone here. Paul Tudor is stopped short at about the 2.5 or 3-yard line. So that's 2 straight plays where the Ordockers decided not to run wide or off tackle, where they've had so much success today, and they just tried to power it straight ahead.
I think they're in pretty good position right now. They're about 2.5 yards out, and I still think they're going to be difficult to stop right down here.
Verbose splits wide left. He's probably not going to get it. Here it is, straight up the middle again, and again, Paul Tudor is stopped just short at about the 1-yard line. Charlie, 4th down now at about, a yard to go. What do you do if you're head coach Bob McLeod?
I think I'm going to do exactly what he just did. I think they've got 4th and about 2 feet. And as long as you can execute and get off the ball, again, it's going to be very difficult to stop. They may either run that fullback just on the straight first handoff, or else what we call a power off tackle, where they're going to just seal to the inside and run that ball hard off tackle. But I got a hunch the fullback's going to bring it in.
Here's Zack at quarterback. Straight up the middle, and Tudor did not get in. Tudor did not get in. Sturgeon Bay holds, and they'll take over on their own 1-yard line.
That was a great job by the defensive people inside. I think they guessed that. They took a chance. They brought some extra people in there, and they jammed that up.
Wow, great penetration by that defensive front wall of Sturgeon Bay. There was really no room at all for Tudor on that play. No room at all.
This should end the quarter. There's about 6 seconds left. But Sturgeon Bay, of course, is not out of the woods right here on about the 2 foot, 99 yards away from the goal line.
Corey Sarin doesn't look relieved, but believe me, he must be. His team made a great defensive stand here to end the first quarter. That's the end of quarter number 1. We're tied 7-7 in the Division III championship game. Now these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Ashland coach Bob McLeod still wondering what happened. His high-powered running game did not get in the end zone. 4 tries from inside the 10, but give the Sturgeon Bay Clippers a lot of credit for the big guys up front, keeping number 30, Paul Tudor, out of the end zone.
Sturgeon Bay really got off the ball well on that replay, and I think that was a difference. They stacked it up a little bit, and there just wasn't anywhere to run, and once he got slowed down, they did a great job of filling that up.
WKBT TV, Channel 8 in La Crosse and Eau Claire, carrying all 6 games live in western Wisconsin for the 2nd year in a row. Hello to General Manager Bruce Pfeiffer and all our friends out there in La Crosse. Hope you're enjoying the game, and you got to be enjoying this. This has been a wild football game so far. That's Bryson sneaking out to about the 5 or 6 yard line, getting perhaps a couple more yards than they thought they would. They just need a little bit of breathing room down there deep in their own territory.
Now, that was a nice play. It was just a quarterback sneak, and of course what they did, they ran a tailback in motion, and it may have had an impact on those linebackers because it was a surprise, but they really got out of trouble. It was a 5-yard game.
Just underway here in the second quarter. Sturgeon Bay and Ashland all tied at 7 in the Division III WIAA State Championship game. Second down, about 5 yards to go, and look at this. They're going to throw the ball again deep in their own territory. John Walker has the first down and another yard to spare. Gutty call by Sturgeon Bay.
It was a case where they were playing off of John a little bit, and he just ran that hitch pass to him, and it looks to me like they've done a lot of this, and I think that John Walker's really a top-notch receiver, just watching him warm up and what I've heard about him, and I think the quarterback right now, Chris, is throwing the ball right on time.
Don't be surprised if Walker makes a real big play later in this game. He's a great athlete. He's averaging 22 yards per catch. He is the defending Division II state high jump champion. That could come into play in a situation where they maybe want to throw that corner route in the end zone a little later in the game. 1st and 10 for Sturgeon Bay from their own 12-yard line. And again, the play action fake, and they're looking and they're throwing long, and almost caught by Walker at about the 30-yard line, and he made a nice play there. I thought that ball was possibly going to get picked off.
I watched Walker come off the line of scrimmage, and he stumbled and nearly fell down, and I think that he was going to probably run a deep pattern when he started out. But as you said, I think he's an outstanding-looking receiver, and he will have a big impact on this day before it's over because they put him in different places. He plays as a flanker, and the other time he's going to line up in a power I formation and come out of there in motion. Right now we split left out of a I formation with 2 tight ends.
With statistics like you just saw, you can see why the coaching staff is not afraid to let Gryson throw the ball from really anywhere on the field. Second down, 10 yards to go. They're going to give the ball to the deep back, and Chad Hoyska probably wishes they hadn't given him the ball because he had nowhere to go at all. No gain, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 10, and it looks like a passing situation for the Clippers. We saw Sturgeon Bay make a nice defensive stand on a running play, and now we're seeing Ashland really hitting the running back very hard. Third and 10. 10:39 here to go in the first quarter. 2 backs behind the quarterback, Bryson. This time he'll drop straight back, and they're setting up the screen to the far side. Hoyska has it, but he's going to be cut down just a little bit short of the first down.
That was really a well-executed play, and he didn't seem to catch the ball on stride, or I think he would have made that first down. It was a relatively safe play, and it was really a pretty good throw, and I think they're probably going to have to kick it away.
Excuse me, that was not Hoyska. That was Quinn Mann, the guy who scored the touchdown. Quinn Mann gets pulled down at about the 20-yard line. And the Clippers are going to punt it away here with 10 minutes to go in the first quarter and a high score, 7-7. And it looks, if you look at the flags on the field, like they probably might have the wind at their back, but we're not sure. As we said, it kind of swirls around here at Camp Randall. The wind is not going to help that kick at all. It's going to go out of bounds around the Sturgeon Bay 40-yard line. So great field position when we come back for Ashland. We'll be back in just a minute. But now these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Jim Sosha and Charlie McDonald back at Camp Randall Stadium, 7-7. Ashland and Sturgeon Bay are all tied. Coach, we were just talking during the break. What happened to Chad Hoyska? We've seen Quinn Mann out on the field for quite a while. We haven't seen Hoyska for some time.
No, he has not been in the last two series. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to get some information on that.
We'll check that out. Ashland takes over again with very good field position. They've had good field position for most of this first half. They got the ball on the other guy's 40-yard line. Boy, anytime you can get it out beyond your own 35-yard line, you're happy with this, but this is ideal field position for them.
It really is. They were receiving a punt with the wind in their face, and we have seen some punt problems in the first game as well as this game now.
Jason Zach, they're going to run out of the wishbone as they always do. Watland cuts back and was about one man away from breaking it to the near side, and had he broken that tackle, he could have picked up 10 or 15 more yards. He's a dangerous guy, isn't he?
Well, he really is, because of the, it looks like the ability, not only with the straight ahead speed, but he plants well and cuts back against the grain. And I've heard that they're such a big play team, and I think the reason is that he cuts back and gets in an open field, and there's not a lot of kids that can catch him.
Gain of 5 yards, second down and 5. Boy, he's just about ready to go over the 100-yard mark already. He's had an incredible game already. Of course, the one long touchdown run, and here it is again. Watland inside the 30. He's got the first down, and he won't go down until he's pulled down finally at the 27-yard line. That'll put him over the century mark. 105 rushes. If he had 105 rushes, he's run for about 6 miles with his average. He's having a game. Can we figure that out? I think he's over his 12-yard per carries average, isn't he? Easily.
That last play was just a counter play out of the wishbone with a trap block, and of course it's again a tough play to defend.
First down, unofficially, we've got him averaging 17 yards per carry. Paul Tudor straight ahead for about 3 yards.
One difficult problem, I think, for Sturgeon Bay and any of us that play an excellent wishbone team like this is something we don't see very often. We see some option now, but not the true wishbone teams like this. And it's obvious it's very difficult in a period of 3 to 4 days to get ready to defend all phases. And I think you can see the effect right now it's having, although Sturgeon Bay's done a nice job, and we've got a 7-7 game right now.
Jason Zach was the backup quarterback until a week ago, but he stepped in and really has done a nice job with Mike Shemlock out with that injury. Gain of about 4 more yards for Paul Tudor. Shemlock is playing on defense, but he had a dislocated thumb a couple of weeks ago, was unable to play quarterback in the Black River Falls game. Tudor shaken up. Looks like he may have twisted an ankle, so he's going to come out. for at least a play. But back to Zach. He stepped in and has really done a nice job running a wishbone, which isn't an easy thing to do.
No, it isn't, and you know, he looks very confident to me, and of course it helps to have the kids he has around him, but I think he's a solid performer.
Third down at about 2, and Sturgeon Bay jumps in the defensive line. Let's see if they're drawn offside or not.
It appears that it was on the defense. It's hard to tell. Yes, it is. So that'll be a big first down for Ashland. It'll be on the 15-yard line, I think, with a first down.
Another look at it, so that's an easy first down for Ashland with 7:24 here to go in the first. First and 10 from the 15-yard line of Sturgeon Bay. Number 32, Wade Tudor, is in the game, replacing number 30, Paul Tudor, here midway through the first quarter. He's not going to get the ball, though, I don't think. It looks like Sean Lund dives ahead for 2 hard-earned yards. Lund had 1,512 yards coming into this game and 22 touchdowns, and we've been talking about it most of the afternoon. He's 1/3 of what might be, I don't know if I'm going out on a limb here, but might be one of the best backfields in Wisconsin history, at least statistically, wouldn't you think?
Well, they certainly have to be among the best this year. I think those guys' stats are really incredible. To get a 1,000-yard rusher is special, but then to have 2 of them.
Option near side, Zach cuts it up, and he's inside the 5-yard line, and I think that's going to be good enough for another Ashland first down.
Very difficult, again, when you can run a wishbone well like that in a goal line situation to defend it. You have to take some chances, and again, the Sturgeon Bay did it pretty well last time, and it's going to be interesting to see right now if they can do it again.
Jason Zach, beautiful cutback up the middle, and so it's going to be first and goal for the Ordockers from the Sturgeon Bay 4-yard line with 6:26 to go in a game that's tied at 7. Zach Watland, nowhere to go. He's pulled down at about the 3.
A good job by the whole right side of that defense. They met the blocks pretty well and stayed square and filled it up.
Don't forget, coming up a little later on tonight on most of these stations, look at the rushing statistics. Ashland with 159 yards on the ground already, which probably isn't all that unusual for them. Many of our stations and cable companies around the state will be with us again tonight for the Division I championship game. That's Appleton West against Arrowhead. That promises to be a good one as well. Second down and goal for Ashland from the 3. They'll give it to Watland. He is close, but he is not in. Just missed breaking the plane, so it's going to be third down and probably just inches. Ashland has had a lot of success today when they run off tackle. Not quite as much success running straight ahead, but when they're going off tackle, especially the left side, they picked up real positive yardage.
Yes, they have, and it'll be interesting to see if they go back to the same situation with the fullback here and run that ball off tackle.
Remember, Sturgeon Bay stopped them on 4 downs in this area last time Ashland had the ball. Let's see if they do it again. Zach at quarterback, and he falls down. He was going to run what looked like a naked option to this near side, and he just tripped up, I think, perhaps over one of his own linemen. So he loses 3 yards back to the 3, and now it brings up a real interesting 4th down call.
This is a huge play right now. I think what happened was that they just missed that handoff. I think it was an inside play, by the way it looked on the blocking scheme, but he did hang on to the ball, and he gives him a shot. It's the same distance as an extra point right now. The ball is just on the 3-yard line.
Paul Tudor, number 30, back in. Wade Tudor goes to the far side. So here we go again. 4th down, this time 3 to go for an Ashland touchdown. If they don't get in, Sturgeon Bay gets the ball back. Zach pitches. Watland. He's got the corner. He's got a touchdown.
It turned out to be an outstanding call, and of course speed was the difference right there. He got to that corner, and it was tough to defend on that play.
Sean Watland, his 2nd touchdown of this game and his 23rd touchdown of the 1993 season. He got to the corner, and after that it was no contest. The Dockers regained the lead. It's 13-6 here at Camp Randall, and the folks on the far side of the field are mighty excited, but then again, they've seen this kind of play from their team before. This time Ashland decides not to kick the extra point. They're going to try to run it in for 2. And they're not going to get it. Beautiful defensive play. Jason Zack is brought down, but we've got a penalty flag, perhaps offside on Sturgeon Bay. You're talking about an illegal motion on the offense, and Sturgeon Bay obviously going to decline that, and so our score stands. It's Ashland 13 and the Sturgeon Bay Clippers 7. Now, these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Sean Watland telling everybody how it was, how it felt to score his 23rd touchdown of the year. But when you've got an offensive backfield like this, you get a lot of help from the guys up front. Look at the blocking out in front of him. 13-7, the Ashland Oredockers on top of the Sturgeon Bay Clippers here in the Division III championship game. We haven't seen a lot of passing from Ashland, but we don't expect to. They've got one of the best offensive teams in the state, and they do it primarily on the ground. They're averaging about 350 yards per game rushing. They're set to kick it off here to Sturgeon Bay. 10 plays, 61 yards, and they chewed up 5 minutes and 29 seconds. Running up on the ball, John Walker. He fumbles it, goes back and gets it, and he's not going to have a lot of success on this kickoff return. No gain on the return, and Ashland was down in a hurry to defend it.
I mishandled the ball a little bit, and I threw off the timing of the wedge, but they're going to be all right. I think Sturgeon Bay offensively is so solid, and really defensively they did a good job on that extra point as well.
Walker just really didn't have a grip on it before he took off, and fortunately for him, it took a good bounce and came right back to him. So the Clippers get the ball back. 4 minutes to go here in the first half, trailing by 6, 13-7. And again, they'll spread out the formation with Bryson at quarterback and Walker, the senior split end, split wide to the near side. Again, we've seen the play action a lot. They're looking for Walker on the near side, and it's almost intercepted at the 30-yard line. Beautiful defensive play there by Jeff Moravchek.
Ashland that time dropped off into coverage. I believe they just lined up with 4 defenders in the front, and they got some decent pressure, but of course I think the coverage was the key right here.
It looks like that one was a little underthrown. That may have actually been on the coverage. That might have been Mike Shemlock who made the play. Second down, 10 yards to go for the Clippers. This time they're going to run the draw, and there's not much room there at all. Nothing doing for Quinn Mann, who's lucky if he got back to the 21-yard line, and we've got an injured player on the field right now. Sean Lund is down. The senior linebacker is down on about the 20-yard line. Now he's getting up, though. It looks like he's going to be okay. Watch him here make the play. The big hit on Quinn Mann, and I think Lund is going to be okay, Coach.
He looks fine. He's a key player, of course, because not only is he a fine linebacker, but he also is an excellent fullback for them. And something like that gets hurt, it's like almost losing 2 people.
Not only was he the conference defensive player of the year in the Lumberjack Conference, he was just the conference player of the year, period. So they can't really afford to have him on the sideline very long at all. 3rd down and 10, and Sturgeon Bay going to have to punt the ball. Again, they tried to run it, and there was no room at all. Matt Schaub thrown for about a 5-yard loss, and so the Clippers are going to have to kick it.
I'm sure Gary Sarin at this time really hates to give up the football to the Ashland offense. There's still 3 minutes left. There's about it'll be about 2:50 left in the half. But I think the Sturgeon Bay's done some good things, and if they can get some good field position, they certainly, I believe, can move the football, and they can throw it very well.
Clock down to 2:45 to go. Ashland will send 2 return men back deep at about the 50-yard line, and Pat Jolma is going to make the catch on his own 46. He's got the 50 and down to the 46-yard line of Sturgeon Bay. So again, the Ore Dockers have tremendous field position when we come back. 13-7, Ashland leading Sturgeon Bay. Now these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and the Marshfield Clinic.
I was thinking about maybe we could do some turnips and rhododendron inclusions.
Some homeowners pay attention.
Dirt, digging it up.
What?
Oh, don't worry about that. It'll go back on. I was looking
Others pay more.
Bro.
Help us keep your costs down.
Basically, our business at the Marshfield Clinic is medical problem solving. Now, in as much as we can integrate to form teams, just like a good football team, we can have different roles, different specialties. A team is not as good as its quarterback. It's as good as the whole team working together. And that's what happens over here. Our goal is to do one thing, solve the problem of the patient.
Bob McLeod, Ashland head coach, would love to see his team punch it in the end zone again, and really they have plenty of time to get there. 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go. The Ore Dockers with a 6-point lead, 13-7 in the second quarter of this WIAA Division III championship game. Out of the wishbone, Jason Zack this time gives it straight ahead to Paul Tudor, who's back in the game. And again, Tudor doesn't find too much room, running basically straight ahead.
Tudor seems to be fine. He left the game about 3 or 4 plays ago, but it looks like he's fine. He's back with the first offensive group. 2 minutes and about 10 seconds, I would think.
Yeah, he doesn't really look healthy at all right now.
Yeah, he is leaving the game again, so they may have a more serious problem with his leg than they realize.
And I think they bring Wade Tudor, number 32, back into the game. He's that 5'11" 160-pound junior fullback. Not a big guy, but they say he's a pretty good running back. Here's Watland. He gets to the outside. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. The 30. Still on his feet and finally pushed out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. He is explosive.
That was an outstanding play again. And, of course, the key, I think, for that time was the block on the outside. I did not get the number, but he did an excellent job on the corner and gave Watland a chance to go. We'll be able to see it here in the replay. I believe it was number 40. Yes. And he doesn't need much of a block, but just something to give him a chance to turn it on.
Chris Bryson could not get there. Finally, Matt Schaub was the guy who saved the touchdown. First down, and actually they say he stepped out of bounds at the 23-yard line with 1:46 to go. Plenty of time for Ashland to get in the end zone again. This time they're going to throw it. They do, and it is caught on the near side by Watland, and he's got a touchdown. He can walk into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown here in the first half.
Well, it was kind of a surprise play, and of course the quarterback just got rid of that ball, and it was thrown right on time. And Watland, once he caught it in the open field, is going to score.
Jason Zack with the play-action fake, and it wasn't a pretty pass. Watland makes the good catch, and after that defender missed him, there was nobody left. They had 2.5 minutes to get the touchdown, and they only used a minute. 1:37 to go in the half, and it's 19-7. Ashland out in front.
The wishbone situation, when you execute like they can with the inside and outside together, that creates some great opportunities to throw like that off of play action. And that was the case where he got a step, and of course then he's gone.
All right, Ashland again going to try to go for 2 here with a 12-point lead. They'll option to the near side, and they are going to be stopped just short. Sean Lund dragged down at about the 1-yard line, so that's the 2nd straight time they went for 2 and failed. So the score remains 19-7. Ashland out in front of Sturgeon Bay here in the WIAA Division III championship game. Coach, that was the first pass that Ashland has thrown all afternoon. And I guess when your running game is that good, you catch the other team off balance.
I don't think that we'll probably see more than 2 other passes, but that is so true when you can execute like that offensively. And I think Sturgeon Bay is all right. I think that they've just got to get some field position and get their offense in gear. I think that Sturgeon Bay is an excellent ball club, but right now, the last couple of minutes of this half, they've lost that field position, and of course, Ashland came right down with 2 in a row right now, and they've got to get into halftime and they can regroup a little bit, but they've shown me they can do some excellent things, and they're a fine ball club, so they've got to just hang in there and get back out here after the half and get things going.
Stick around at halftime. We'll be talking to Don Herman, the assistant director at the WIAA, and we've got lots of other fun features for you to look at. We want to extend our greetings to WDJT TV 58 in Milwaukee and Southeast Wisconsin, carrying all 6 of these games live. Thanks again to General Manager Bill Lemons for all of his support, and I'm sure all of you folks in southeastern Wisconsin, my grandmother included, are probably enjoying this game immensely. It's been a good one. Walker this time hangs on to the kickoff and makes a nice return out to about the 31. Minute 29 seconds to go here in the first half, and the Clippers are down by 12, 19-7, and they've got a minute 29 seconds to go. Do you sit on the ball here, or do you try to get some points on the board?
I think that they're a big play team in the way they can throw the ball. They have decent field position with 30 about on the 31-yard line, and I believe they have all 3 timeouts left. So I anticipate that they're going to try to move the ball off the field. They're coming out in a spread formation. That trips are set to the left right now. All 3 receivers are wide out to this side.
Adams and Walker at the lower part of your screen. Straight back in the pocket is Bryson, and he's going to air it out. He throws. Adams has it at the 41-yard line. Still on his feet inside Ashland territory, dragged down at the 48. Good-looking play.
Outstanding throw and catch, and I've really been impressed with Chris Bryson as far as how he throws the ball. Good velocity in the ball, and when he gets time to throw the ball, he's really been on target.
Timeout on the field. Sturgeon Bay burns its first timeout of the afternoon. With a minute 21, you'd have to think with the clock stopping with every first down they pick up, they also probably have plenty of time to get at least close to the goal line. Good throw and an even better catch by Adams going way up in the air. He's the guy who looked like the state high jump champ, not John Walker on that play. You know, I don't think that Sturgeon Bay has thrown anything to the right side of the field. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think every pass they've thrown has come to this left side. Isn't that right?
They have thrown, I think, mostly this way. I would anticipate right now that we're going to see a continuation of the throwing, because with a minute 21 and 2 timeouts, and I think a couple great receivers, particularly John Walker, you go to that, and they have a chance to get down in there and score. If they could do that, it would be a huge lift for them right now.
That last drive by Ashland, 3 plays, 46 yards, and it didn't take even a minute off this Camp Randall Stadium clock. Shows you just how explosive a wishbone team can be. Sturgeon Bay is also explosive. They've won big. They've cracked the 50-point barrier this year. They won a game 50-6 over Sevastopol, Gibraltar earlier this year. They can put points on the board as well. First down and 10 from the 49-yard line of Ashland for the Clippers of Sturgeon Bay. Play action fake by Bryson, and he's really going to go up top here, and he's got Walker inside the 35-yard line, and he smartly gets out of bounds to stop the clock, and that's another Sturgeon Bay first down.
That was another outstanding throw and catch. Good play action fake. I think it held the linebackers, and of course Bryson set up and threw a strike to John Walker, who ran a deep curl pass from that flanker position, and beautifully executed pattern and catch and throw. You have to be impressed watching this offense in Sturgeon Bay's operate.
First and 10 from the 34. We're down to a minute 15 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Bryson looks, Bryson throws, and it's over the head of Walker again on the near side, on the left side, I might add. You know, talking to head coach Gordy Sarrett earlier in the week, I was surprised to learn that his offensive strategy is basically run 50% of the time and throw the other half of the time. But he said to me, I think we're obligated to our fans to keep this entertaining. And he certainly has kept things entertaining, hasn't he?
They have. Now they're set with a triple set this way again, and so they've got 3 receivers set out here.
Bryson throws to the near side. That's Quinn Mann trying to cut back, still on his feet. Good second effort, and he's dragged down at about the 27. Sturgeon Bay going to take its second timeout with 1:01 to go here in the quarter and the half. Faced with a pretty important third down play right now.
3rd and 4, I believe it is, about on the 26-yard line or 28-yard line.
Nice tackle by Sean Lund. Good to see him back in the game. He was out for a couple of plays earlier in the half. Gordy Saran talking to Greisen, his quarterback, and what would you look for here? I would imagine he's probably got to put the ball up in the air.
Well, I guess that they probably would, and I'm sure that they have, you know, some short 3-step drop passes or some the shorter kind of passes that they can throw right now, and I would anticipate they're going to try to get the first down, and if they can do that, they're going to just, with the time they have remaining, which is plenty, then try to take it in.
Now, if Greisen can't lead the team into the end zone with his arm, maybe he can get them 3 points with his foot. He is the field goal and kickoff man for the team. Right now, you'd have to say that they're way out of range, but based on what we've seen from him kicking off, I suppose he could probably hit from about 30 yards.
I think that he could. I know right now Sturgeon Bay would like very much to you know, get on the board right here, and they have a chance to go in 19-14, which would be you know, pretty close to an even ball game.
3rd down and 5 for Sturgeon Bay from the 33-yard line of Ashland with 1 minute and 1 second to go here in the first half. They're trailing by 12, 19-7. Man in motion to the top of your screen. Greisen wants to throw again. Everybody covered. He's going to have to run. Now he throws and it's dropped. It would have been a first down, but the pass was dropped by Chris Bellin, his big tight end. He was open inside the 20-yard line, but couldn't hang on.
Chris really made an outstanding play. He stayed with it. His receivers recovered. He waited, and he threw the ball right now, just about at the last minute, threw a nice strike right here, and of course the ball just was dropped.
So it brings up 4th down, and the Clippers are going to go for it. 4th and 5.
Chris Bellin is an excellent receiver, and that does not happen to Chris very often. I'm sure it probably will not happen to him again today.
One back behind Greisen with 54 seconds to go. Under pressure, Greisen wants to run. He's got the 25, the 20, out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Good heads-up move by Chris Greisen, seeing that everybody was covered, and he had a nice little lane off the left side, and he decided just to get the first down.
A very good read. He kept his feet and kept his balance, and he knew exactly where he had to be, and he got there. Not only did he get the first down, of course, right now, but he stopped the clock, and he saved the timeout that they have left. I believe they have 2 timeouts to use.
Greisen's a tough guy to bring down. 6 feet 4 inches tall, and he weighs 202 pounds, bigger than most quarterbacks that you're going to see. This time, Ashland takes a timeout. So the Dockers have 1 timeout remaining in the first half, trying to protect a 12-point lead. They've got 47 seconds left. They're trying to keep Bob McLeod, I'm sorry, is trying to keep Gordy Saran, and the guys dressed in red and white, out of the end zone here.
Time is not a big factor right now, as well as Sturgeon Bay throws a football. They have 2 timeouts they can use. The ball, I believe, is about the 14-yard line. So they really do have time to run 4 to 5 plays from right here and get this thing very even.
If it does come down to a field goal, if the flags on top of Camp Randall Stadium are any indication of what's going down on the field, it looks like we've got a right-to-left wind. That would be a wind blowing out of the south, although it feels like a north wind. It's a cold day, so it looks like Sturgeon Bay might have the wind at its back if they do have to try to kick a field goal. That's not what they want to do now with 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line and 47 seconds to go. One back in the backfield. Greisen rolls to the near side. He's in trouble. He needs a block. He got it. Still scrambling. What an effort. We're down to 37 seconds to go. He's got a man and a completion. What a play by Chris Greisen, and he finally finds Tom Ellenbecker inside the 5-yard line. Incredible.
That was an outstanding effort by the quarterback, Chris Greisen. He seems to have the knack to wait and read and finally make the play at the last minute. That was truly an outstanding play. I think that was the best play that I've seen today.
For a 6'4", 202-pound kid, he's got great mobility. I thought the clock was going to run out and the first half was going to end. He was running around so long. 1st and goal for the Clippers from the 3. Greisen running, still on his feet. He's got a touchdown.
They lined up in strips, set right, and of course that forces the defense to spread out, and he just ran a quarterback sneak and kept on his feet.
Wow. Is he strong or what? They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he just overpowered the defense.
He's been very impressive this series. I think that was so vital for Sturgeon Bay, the way they handled this. They got down a little bit. They had a couple of moments there in the second quarter, but they've reestablished themselves right now.
Boy, that really makes things interesting. With 28 seconds to go, it is now Ashland 19 and Sturgeon Bay 13. We expected a high-scoring game, and that's exactly what we have so far here at Camp Randall. I think Greisen needs a little bit of a rest. He really did most of the work on that drive.
He had two huge plays. The scrambling play, of course, was a big play. He went from sideline to sideline. I believe the play we're going to see on the video replay right now.
We've got about 5 minutes. Let's take a look at one play. That's about how long it took Greisen to finally decide that he was going to find somebody who was open. This is just an incredible play, folks. Reminiscent of Fran Tarkington, what he used to do to the old Packers back in the 1960s. What an effort. And a nice job, you've got to add, by Ellenbecker finding an open spot on the field. His pattern had long since broken down, and at that point, you've just got to find an open spot and come back to the quarterback.
Right, I think those receivers stayed active, and I think they're in their third set of patterns when they threw the ball. Sturgeon Bay right now is going to go for 2 with a 19-13 score, and they're back in the power eye right now.
Greisen at quarterback, he'll give it to the deep man, and that is Mann, and I don't think he's going to get in. No, he is not. Quinn Mann stopped short. So another 2-point conversion fails, but I think the Clippers have to be happy that they at least got in the end zone on a very impressive drive using very little time. The only drawback is that there's still 28 seconds to go, Coach, and that may be enough time for Ashland to get back on the board. Another look at the touchdown. Greisen again just powering his way in the end zone for 3 yards. Now, after throwing and running his team into the end zone, Mr. Greisen is going to tee it up, and he's going to try to get off a good deep kickoff here. Sturgeon Bay and Ashland both 12-0 this year, and you can see why both teams have made it here to the Division III championship game. They both made a few mistakes in the first half, but neither team has gotten rattled. They just bounced right back, and I think a lot of that is due to confidence. Greisen hits the low liner that bounces on the 20, and is picked up there by Watland. He's out to the 25-yard line, trying to get to the corner. He does, but he's finally pushed out of bounds at about the 32. 22 seconds to go here in the first half, and Ashland probably, other than the time they recovered the fumble deep in their own territory, this is probably the poorest field position that they've had so far today.
I think it is, and with just 22 seconds left in the half, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to handle this. They're about 70 yards away.
There's that drive, 69 yards in just a little over a minute. So we've seen 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes in the first half. They're going to option to the near side, trying to turn the corner as Lund. He does. The 35, the 40, cut back. He's got room. He's at the 50. He's at the 40, the 30. And he's dragged down by Greisen at the 20-yard line with 9 seconds to go. And what an effort by Chris Greisen, who definitely stopped Sean Lund from taking it all the way for the 3rd touchdown in the last 2 minutes of this half.
Sean might have made a bad decision on the cutback. It looked like if he maybe stayed to the outside, he had a chance to take it in. We're down to 9 seconds right now, and of course, they are out of timeout, so this could conceivably be the last play of the half.
Well, interesting here, I think Sturgeon Bay called a timeout. Ashland rushed to the line of scrimmage with only 9 seconds to go, but I think Sturgeon Bay called that one.
No, I guess they just,
okay.
Yeah, they just changed the call. Ashland did call a timeout, and I think that they are definitely out of timeouts. I went for the scoreboard. I thought they were.
Another great cutback move. Watland has been doing most of the cutbacks here in the first half, but watch Lund cut back to his left. Boy, that has really been open for the Ashland team so far today, but Greisen saved the touchdown. Now you've got an interesting decision. I don't know what kind of range they've got in the kicking game, but if they were to try a field goal right now, it would be a 37-yarder into a wind, and I think that's probably out of most kickers' range at this point.
I do think they're going to probably go for the play. What has happened a little bit right now in this ballgame, and you tend to do that with this kind of speed, the defense is over pursuing, and we've seen, I think, 2 cutbacks that have been very effective. That's something I think at halftime that they're going to have to adjust to.
Normally, this would be a passing situation with no timeouts. Ashland doesn't like to throw it a lot. They are 1-for-1 for a touchdown. Let's see what they call here. 9 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 20. Back in the pocket, Zach. He throws, and it is knocked away and intercepted in the end zone by Sturgeon Bay. Intercepted down there, and they've got room all the way out to the 18-yard line. Nice-looking run back by Matt Schaap on a deflected pass, and that is the last play of the first half. And Coach Ashland almost had another touchdown. That could have been 6 points.
Yes, it could have been. This has been a very exciting football game. Here's a replay of the ball. The ball, I believe, is just underthrown slightly, and an excellent defensive play by the defensive back who caught that ball. And it looks like he has some room when he cuts back, but I just think that in this position, I guess he did not. There were people around him.
Well, I think the fans here at Camp Randall have gotten their money's worth here in the first half. It's halftime, and Ashland leads Sturgeon Bay 19-13. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back. Now, these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. We're at halftime. The Oredockers leading the Clippers 19-13. Coach, it's been even more exciting than I thought it would be. This is just a very entertaining high school football game.
Well, it really is. Early, we saw the turnovers that were a big factor, but again, I maintain that when you can run the wishbone with the kind of speed that Ashland presents, it creates a lot of problems. I do think that Sturgeon Bay showed some things offensively in that last drive that will be significant in the second half. I think their quarterback's an outstanding player, and certainly the receivers are good. And this game is far from over. It's 19-13, but it's the situation where one play can turn it around.
Sturgeon Bay was definitely in danger of not knocked out of the game, but being put in a big hole. But Greisen almost single-handedly led him back. He led him on that touchdown drive with that incredible scramble and the throw and then the touchdown run. And then he saved him at least 6 points, bringing down Lund on the 20-yard line because it Ashland.
That was a huge play. I think in the second half, looking at this, it's important for Sturgeon Bay to keep the Ashland offense off the field. And I mean that sincerely. I think they need to get the football and control it and move the ball when they get it and use some time, because I wouldn't really appreciate the job of defending them, because of the speed.
Yeah.
Speed is so vital, and when you have that kind of speed, it creates a lot of problems.
Well, while we're finishing up the football season here at Camp Randall this weekend, most other fall sports are already finished. Jay Wilson has a report now on the soccer, tennis, golf, volleyball, and cross-country championships, which have been held in the past couple weeks.
The fall sports tournament season gets off to a...
Quick look at the statistics. Ashland really dominating the game on the ground, at least 230 yards running. But you look over on the other side of the column and you see that Sturgeon Bay has been very effective through the air with 147 yards throwing, many of them on that last drive of the first half.
The last drive was impressive. They really did a great job and got themselves right back in the ballgame.
As you might expect, a team like Ashland controlling time of possession since they run the ball most of the time. But it's been a great first half, and we're all set to go here for the last 2 quarters of the season. In Division 3, either Ashland or Sturgeon Bay is going to walk out of the Camp Randall Stadium with a state championship trophy. Ashland will receive the second half kickoff and they will move from right to left as you look at it, and it looks like, if anything, the wind here at Camp Randall may have picked up a little bit over halftime. Probably about a 20-mile-an-hour wind, and although it's swirling, it looks like it's primarily at the backs of the Oredockers from Ashland.
One fortunate thing today, the rain that was scheduled at least has not shown up down here in Madison, and hopefully we can get through the evening without a problem with that.
Here's a kickoff. It's coming down to Watland at the 22-yard line. He breaks a tackle, still on his feet, out past the 40 and out to the 44-yard line. And even when they do get a good look at him and try to make a tackle, he is very, very elusive. Taking a look at what Ashland has done with the ball when they've had it, you can see on the left they have had the ball, with one exception, in very, very good field position, and they have not punted. They have not punted today, I do not believe, and they've been pretty successful, mostly running the ball out of the wishbone attack, and that's what they'll open with here on the first play of the third quarter. Jason Zach, number 14 at quarterback, 3 backs behind him. They're going to give the ball to Sean Lund up the middle, and not much running room. Lund is the guy who almost scored that touchdown with 9 seconds to go. He broke off about a 40-yard run, but he was pulled down on the Sturgeon Bay 20-yard line by Chris Greisen, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle, and that's why the score is still 19-13 and not 25 or 26-13. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Oredockers from their own 46. Optioning to the near side, Wetland has it. He's got the 50-yard line, and he's going to be close, and I believe Watland has the first down at about the 45-yard line of Sturgeon Bay.
There was better containment on that play by Sturgeon Bay, and I think they probably had taken a look at some things at halftime, because they need to contain that pitch. That play hurt them twice in the first half for big plays. They were in a little better position that time. I think their angles of pursuit were better.
Well, they brought out the chains, and it was indeed a first down for Ashland. They're first here in the second half. With 10:57 to go in the third quarter, they'll get a new set of downs from the Sturgeon Bay 45-yard line. Zach gives it up the middle to Lund, and Lund goes for about 5 down to the 40. Zach is going to quickly run over to the far sideline. Good tackle there. That was number 71, Jeff Schley, who brought him down. Big, strong kid, 6 feet tall, almost 250 pounds. Now, Jason Zach just ran over to the far side, talked to head coach Bob McLeod, and then brought the play in himself. If he did that all day long, that would be kind of a tiring deal. Second down, we'll call it 5 yards to go from the 44-yard line of Sturgeon Bay. Lund again, and I think he's going to be close to the first down. Needed to get the nose of the football to the 35-yard line, and he did that.
Sturgeon Bay continues to stay in a 4-man front defensively, and of course with the wishbone situation, they've really got a 9-man front up there with the linebackers much closer.
Second first down of the second half for Ashland. The drive continues with an even 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Zach this time hands it off to, I believe that was Tudor. No, that was Watland. Excuse me, Watland. Probably one of the shortest runs we've seen out of him so far today. Picks up about 5. Still a good gain. They'll take that one. Second down and 5. Watland at 147 yards right now, but remember, he was over the 100-yard barrier late in the first quarter, I believe. He's had a big game. Early on, he had that 64-yard touchdown run on the option play. And really hasn't slowed down much since then. Lund goes up the middle, and he gets it down to about the 27-yard line. Brought down there by, looks like Josh Levine, number 64, and again, Schley, number 71, in to make the tackle.
Again, Ashland's in a pretty good position. They have a 3rd and about 2, but they're in a 4-down situation, so really they have 2 plays right now to gain the first down. And, to come out after the halftime and sustain a nice drive like this is probably significant for them. I know Sturgeon Bay would like to stop them right here and put them in a 4th-down situation.
Here's Jason Zach. He brings them up. They're 2 of 4 on this situation so far today. Zach going to keep it, going to get the first down, and he's pulled down at about the 22-yard line. Again, nice job by Jason Zach of reading that the fullback was covered, and he decided just to be safe and pick up the first down and not the option to that far side. Zach, maybe not the runner that Greisen is of Sturgeon Bay, but he's not looking too bad, especially for a guy who doesn't have all that much experience at the varsity level at quarterback. Remember, this is only his second start. He's in replacing Mike Shemlock, who dislocated his thumb a couple of weeks ago and still is unable to play quarterback. Here's Watland, good yardage, about 6, maybe 7 yards down to the 16.
I think they want Zach to just come in and be able to run the offense and handle the ball the way he's done, and he really has, I think, done a nice job with that. He looks good when he keeps it. He, again, experience-wise, he might be limited, but he's handling this situation very well.
Looking at Corey Hunsater, who's played a nice game. Second down at about 4.5, maybe 5 yards to go for the Ore Doctors. Ashland leading this game 19-13 with 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This time, nothing doing at all for Paul Tudor up the middle. Maybe he picked up a yard, but probably not even that much. Kevin Berry, number 58, and Josh Levine, a couple of guys who in the first half came up with a great effort to keep Ashland out of the end zone when they had that first and goal from inside the 10-yard line and fourth and goal from about the foot line, and they kept them out of there and saved 6 points, and they got the ball back on a loss of downs. Kevin Berry, again, not little either, 244 pounds. Great size up front by the Clippers. Third down, Sturgeon Bay jumps, and I don't think they were drawn offside. I think it was a hard count, and it's going to be an offside penalty.
Sturgeon Bay right now is trying to get some penetration, I think, and that time they brought the linebackers up a little closer, which was certainly a good thing to do right now, and try to force a mistake or get to the mesh point as quickly as they can. And, of course, he got caught that time, and that was a penalty that will give Ashland a first down at about the 12-yard line.
Corey Hunsater is the guy who jumped at the top of your screen, and Ashland in business in what has been really a very methodical drive. No big plays at all on this one. A good kickoff return. They had good field position, and they've had the ball here this entire third quarter, and they've eaten up already about 5 minutes off the clock. First and 10 for Ashland. Zach has him at about the 12-yard line. Zach will keep the ball, and Zach will be thrown for about a 3-yard loss.
I believe they had a missed handoff that time, and he did hang on to the ball, but it puts him in a little more difficult situation. It's a loss of about 3. It's second down at about 13.
Number 77, Zach Juatis was in there, and once again, Kevin Berry helped out on the tackle, and Adams was in there, and there were about 3 or 4 other guys who would have made the tackle had those 3 guys not been there. Second down and 12 yards to go. Normally you'd say passing situation, but remember, Ashland has a couple guys who average 12 yards per rush, so they're probably going to keep it on the ground. And they do. Option near side, Watland, and he's going to go backwards. He's still on his feet, though, and gets inside the 15-yard line. Incredible effort as he broke the tackle and picked up 7 additional yards.
Again, it was good defensive pressure. They got to the quarterback in a hurry. He had to make that decision to get rid of the ball in a hurry, and of course there was somebody in Watland's face for probably the first time today. And this brings up an interesting situation. They're third down and long. They haven't had many of those, and when they've had that, they've gone to the outside and the perimeter, and we'll just see what happens right now.
Adams, number 83, didn't make the tackle there, but he certainly disrupted that play. There he is. Another one of those two-way players. Jim Adams plays linebacker over here, and then on offense he plays tight end. Big play here. Third down and 13 to go for Ashland from the 16-yard line. Zach is going to keep the ball, picks up good yardage, but nowhere near enough for the first down. He's inside the 10, but that's still going to leave him about 6, maybe 7 yards short of the first down.
I think Sturgeon Bay took the pitch away right there and forced him to keep the ball inside, and they're in a decent position right now. I think fourth and about 7. This is a big play for the defense to stop them and get the football back.
Zach didn't have much room, but scored it through there. Now, if you had a real solid kicking game, you could take the 3 points and go up to 22-13, and that would make it a 9-point difference and force the Clippers to score twice, but Ashland very confident in its ground game, so they're going to go for it here. Another fourth down play. They're 50-50 on fourth down tries so far tonight. Somebody jumped. Let's see who it is.
I think the offensive team moved that time.
So Ashland is going to get pushed back 5 more yards out to the 14. And that's going to make it fourth down and 11 yards to go.
Ashland played the majority of this drive with 2 tight ends. Now, we didn't see much of that first half. That time they were split out again, and I would anticipate right now with the 4th and long that we'll see the split in. In fact, I'm not sure that we may even see the ball thrown right here.
Ashland 1 for 2 in the air. One of those completions was a touchdown in the first half. They may throw it again here. Watland gets the pitch to the far side. He's at the 15, and he's dragged down at about the 9-yard line, and that is well short of the first down. So again, for the second time tonight, Sturgeon Bay holds on downs deep in its own territory. They will get the ball back when we come back. But right now, these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Bob McLeod sees his team stopped again deep in enemy territory. Sturgeon Bay's defense rises to the occasion. They give the ball to their main man, Watland, but he doesn't quite get in. He's dragged down there by number 84, John Walker, and so Sturgeon Bay has the ball back. They don't like where they're starting, but they're glad they didn't give up the touchdown. 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line. Bryson, as usual, back to throw, and he's got a man, and he completes it to John Walker out around the 15-yard line. Walker's still on his feet, but the whistle had blown, so it's going to be about a 5 or 6 yard gain on first down. Charlie, we have not seen Chad Hoyska in the backfield for quite a while. Remember, he's the guy who rushed for 1,600 yards on the season for Sturgeon Bay. You have an injury report on him?
Well, yes, I do. I checked at halftime, and of course, Chad scored 35 touchdowns, and it's a great kick return and punt return, one of the great backs in the state, and he suffered a sprained ankle early.
With Hoyska out of the lineup, Gryson may be throwing even a little bit more than he normally would. 9 out of 14, very good statistics. He does have that 1 interception, but that was on his first attempt at the game, and since then he's been very close to perfect.
Yes, he has. I think that Quinn Mann has come in at tailback and is doing certainly a good job, but he's in not a very admirable position right now to have to come in this kind of a ball game. But
Eric Made leaves the game for Ashland. We'll try to get a report on his condition. He needed some assistance to get off to the far side of the field. 2nd down and about 4 yards to go. They'll run it straight ahead, and now to about the 21-yard line is number 21, Tom Ellenbecker. Ellenbecker picks up the first down, and it's a big one for Sturgeon Bay. They started the drive on their own 9-yard line, and Ellenbecker trying to give his team as much breathing room as he can. This is the second of 3 games here at Camp Randall today. In our first game of the day, the Division 5 championship, Fall Creek got a late touchdown and 2-point conversion to beat Darlington 14-6. Coming up a little later, the Division 1 game between Arrowhead and Appleton West. That should be a good one. Here's Walker again in the flat, and he picks up about 6, 7, or 8 yards. Conservative pass, and Walker picks up good yardage.
That was an excellent play again. They play off of Walker at all, and they just go right to the hitch with just a quick pattern to him, and he just tries to bust it to the outside. He has great hands and has good speed, and he's a real threat in this game, and I think he's the kind of player that could score from anywhere out here.
We told you earlier what a great athlete he is. He's actually averaging about 22 yards per catch. Hasn't broken a big one yet today, but like Charlie said, he's capable of doing that any time. Second down and a short 2 yards to go. That doesn't matter, though. Greisen wants to throw. And here he goes. He's going to run again, and he's got a man wide open. That's Adams at the 35, at the 40, the 42-yard line. Another nice job of scrambling by Chris Greisen.
Chris has really a good sense of the field. He sets up so well, and he does not throw the ball into the crowd. That time he planted, reversed himself. As you can see in the replay right here, he keeps his head up. He knows what he wants to do when he spots his man right now and throws a good. Almost slipped down, but kept his feet and made a good reception.
Another first down for the Clippers, trailing only by 6 here with 2:18 to go in the third quarter. No scoring in this third quarter, which is a bit of a surprise based on what we saw in the first half. Straight up the middle for about 4 or 5 yards. Corey Hunsader gets, maybe even, we'll call it 4 yards. He'll come out of the game, and Ellenbecker will come back in to replace him. It's head coach Bob McLeod on the far side now, who is watching Sturgeon Bay make a nice drive down the field. Remember, this drive started on their own 9, and they've already pushed it out to the 45-yard line using a couple of runs and some real ball control throws. Greisen will fake. Now he'll throw. He's got a man all alone on this near side. Still on his feet. Bellin inside the 30. Still battling down to the 26-yard line. Chris Bellin, great extra effort, dragging bodies down the near side. And you know what, Coach? It's been kind of a frustrating day for Bellin, who had a drop and had a fumble, but he's making up for it at least a little bit on this play.
He is a great-looking football player. He's looks like a perfect tight end to me. He's got great size, and he's a very good athlete, and he runs with that ball very well. He could be quite a figure as an offensive fullback. I could just the way he runs and handles that ball.
The 238-pound train, as they call him at Sturgeon Bay High School. Another first down for the Clippers from the 26-yard line, and we've got another penalty. This one is going to go against Ashland, and it's going to set up a first down and 5 for Sturgeon Bay.
At that time, the flanker, John Walker, came up on the line of scrimmage to play really as a split end, and Chris Bellin, the tight end, dropped back in the backfield. And, of course, when he went in motion, the defense stepped up. And they're doing some things offensively right now that are impressive.
Quinn Mann, the deep back in the I formation. Hunsader is the up man, the fullback. First down, 5 yards to go from the 21. In motion, that's Bellin to the far side, and they're going to give the ball to Mann, and oh man, is he drilled. Loss of about 3 yards on the play.
That 50 defense slanted that time towards the motion. The tight end again, Bellin, dropped off the line of scrimmage and went in motion, so they really had an unbalanced set to the left side. Excellent defensive play right there, which forces a second and, I believe, 8.
Nice play by Eric Lund. Boy, he's only a sophomore. They're going to have that guy around another 2 years. He's a good-looking defensive player who does play a little bit on offense as well. 2nd and 8. We're down to just 10 seconds to go here in the quarter. 19-13. Ashland out in front. Greisen trying to get it back. He throws, and it is... Is it caught or is it not caught? Still no call on the field, and now one official is going to say incomplete. Walker thought he had it, and the officials kind of looked at each other, and one finally decided no catch. We're going to take another look at this one. Really hard to tell what happened after Walker hit the ground, but they're going to rule it incomplete. So with 1 second to go, it's going to be a third down for Sturgeon Bay. What do you think, Coach? Tough call.
That was a difficult call. It certainly was a great effort and a great catch and a pretty darn good throw. He threaded the needle, but it's hard to know for sure right here.
Well, you know for sure Greisen is going to go back to pass. He throws over the middle. Adams has it inside the 15. He's got a first down for Sturgeon Bay.
He must have caught the ball because they're right back where the thing happened.
When you were 5 years old, didn't you say cheater's proof or something like that? Yeah. Anyway, it's a first down, and that is the end of quarter number 3. Ashland leads it 19-13. We'll be back after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and Marshfield Clinic.
We've been involved with light therapy of the skin and light diagnostics of the skin since the early 1900s, when Dr. Stephan Epstein established the Department of Dermatology. In the field of lasers, we have pioneered new kinds of therapies, new kinds of hardware, and brought for the patient's benefit, really, a whole new meaning to the uses of many kinds of lasers. Change is the way we stay ahead at Marshfield Clinic.
Good driving is a habit. You can learn good driving habits or bad driving habits. You can be a good driver or a bad driver. You decide. Who pays for bad drivers?
Keep both hands on the wheel.
Good habits have their rewards.
After all kinds of scoring in the first half, we got none in the third quarter. Still very entertaining. The defenses kind of started to assert themselves a little bit.
This has been a great game to watch because so many things have happened offensively, and the Sturgeon Bay has really been impressive again on this drive, just the way they set up and throw the ball. And I think their offensive line deserves some credit because Chris has had some time to set up right now, and he really delivers that ball. He throws it accurately, and he throws the ball hard.
Well, Bob McLeod's team clinging to a pretty precarious 6-point lead, 19-13 as we start quarter number 4 here from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. Greisen wants to throw. Here's the out pattern. He's looking for Walker, and it's just barely overthrown. There's the play we talked about earlier in the game. Walker, the great defending champ in the high jump, and that's the kind of play where if you can get up in the air, you can maybe make a catch even if you're well defended.
Very close to being a big play. Just he put the ball outside, which he had to do. Set him up with a good pump fake and just slightly overthrows the ball, but you don't want to underthrow that ball and let it be intercepted.
2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Sturgeon Bay going to go with that I formation. 3 backs behind the quarterback, Greisen. Nobody split wide this time, but Greisen wants to throw anyway. He's rolling. He's in trouble. He gets a block. Still on his feet. Still standing, and finally falls down at about the 18-yard line. Great job by Greisen, but excellent pursuit by that entire defensive front line of Ashland. They really put the pressure on him that time.
They did, and he almost got out of there. It was a case where I think the pressure just was coming from all directions at the end, and there was really nowhere to go.
At the end of this play, it almost looked like he wanted to throw it left-handed. I think if he would have had a receiver, he might have given it a shot. Well, Sturgeon Bay going to take a timeout on a big 3rd down call. 3rd down and 16 yards to go. We're going to take a break, too. These messages coming up next from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Jim Sosha and Beaver Dam head football coach Charlie McDonald back at Camp Randall Stadium on a cool, windy, I guess it's still afternoon, isn't it? It's hard to tell when it gets dark so early. Oh yeah, it's only 5 to 5. It seems like about 10 o'clock. It's been a great game. 3rd down and 16 to go for Sturgeon Bay. They trail this one by 6 points with 11:24 to go in the football game. The winner takes home the Division III state championship. Greisen under pressure, almost sacked, stays on his feet. Throwing for Walker in the end zone, it is intercepted. Intercepted by number 22, Sean Watland, who stepped in front of John Walker at the last second.
Again, he gets heavy pressure, and he avoids that pressure beautifully. Right here, steps to the inside, and then just spins out of there. And he has, I think John is open right about now, but he just got there a little bit late. Tough play for your quarterback.
Beautiful play by Watland. He only got 1 foot down in bounds, but that's all he needed to do. And we're going to take another break with the score, Ashland 19, Sturgeon Bay 13. We'll be right back. But first, these messages from our local stations. This is your WIAA Football Network. We have 32 points on the Camp Randall scoreboard. We could have 60 points. There have been several situations where both teams have been in the red zone and they've been stopped on 4th down or else stopped by turnovers. The latest turnover goes in favor of Ashland. The Watland interception gives them the ball on their own 20-yard line, 6 points ahead with 11:16 to go in the ballgame. Here's Watland at the 24-yard line. Almost broke out of there, but Bellin pulled him down from behind. Chris Bellin stepped in there and made a nice tackle. Only a 4-yard gain for Watland brings up 2nd down and 6.
Again, defensively, I know that there's a big concern with both Watland and Lund. They're both sprinters. Both kids are sprinters in the track team and run that 40 at under 4.6. And anytime you've got that kind of speed there, that's a concern.
Jason Zach with the wishbone behind him. He'll give it straight ahead. No gain at all. That was Paul Tudor. And he was shut down. So it's going to be 3rd down now. And still about 6 yards to go. Casey Robick. Boy, you know, the size of these kids. Are these kids getting bigger every year? 252 pounds, Casey Robick. His dad, an assistant coach, so obviously he knows what kind of food to feed him.
Yeah, those kids are big, but they're not only big, they're good football players. They have good quickness and good reaction.
3rd down and 6. Zach back in the pocket. Penalty flag on the field. He throws. He's got a man. That's Lund. Lund at the 30. There's that cutback out to the 37-yard line, but there's another flag out at the 32-yard line.
I believe we had a clip out here about the 32-yard line, but I think the play may be a hold on the backside. We'll take a look at it. Illegal motion.
Well, that's good news for the Clippers. They will take one of those 2 penalties, and although the Ordockers will get the down over, it's going to be 3rd down and more than 10 to go for the 1st down. Nice job of setting up the little swing pass out here, and again, a good cutback by Sean Lund. Is that a move that you teach in practice, Coach, the cutback, or is that more of an instinctive deal?
I think it's instinctive, and of course, the kids that start to do that find success with it. And these kids from Ashland, obviously, on the corners have done that pretty well because that's been a big impact, and I think it's been an impact in the other games they've played because they have so many big plays.
And then came the rain or snow or some sort of ugly mix now starting to fall. We knew we were going to get some sort of precipitation here tonight, actually this afternoon, but it's so windy right now from the booth up here. I'm having a hard time determining if it's rain or snow. What do you think?
It's moisture. You can just see light waves floating in front of us, but that was expected, and I'm glad that it held off till now. And hopefully, before the Division I championship game tonight, things will quiet down a little bit.
Division I championship game, of course, Appleton West, a team that beat Wausau West earlier in the playoffs, taking on Arrowhead. They had one game earlier today. Fall Creek wins the Division V championship 14-8 over Darlington. That thing was tied 6-6 with about 2 minutes to go. Darlington fumbled on its own 2-yard line. Fall Creek recovered, and a couple plays later punched it in and got the 2-point conversion. And as a result, took home the championship trophy. It was a great game. Defense has really dominated in that one. Defense is starting to dominate in this one as well. 3rd down, 13 yards to go for Ashland with the rain and wind coming down, and I think we may have a fumble here. Ashland may have fallen on it, but even if they do, they're going to have to give up the football with a punt. Zach Juatis was in there. He almost got the recovery, but again, they can't get around him. Juatis is having himself a real good game, especially here in the second half.
I mean, he's an outstanding player, and of course he's one of the kids that plays both ways for Sturgeon Bay. He's really a top lineman. He's 6'4", just a shade under 240, and he can really play.
Sean Lund is going to punt. He's standing on his own 1-yard line. That's John Walker back at midfield, and they should get real good field position here, but instead it's short, and Greisen has it at the 45, dances his way to about the 40 or 41-yard line, and Sturgeon Bay will start from there when we come back. 19-13, Ashland with the lead. Right now, we're going to take a break for these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and the Marshfield Clinic.
Tonight, a family near you may sleep a little better than they did the night before, simply because someone cared and listened to their financial dreams about college for their kids, providing for each other, and their plans for growing old together. They talked to a rural security agent about life insurance and learned how dreams don't always have to stay dreams. Life is filled with promises, and rural security life insurance can help you keep them.
We have all kinds of subspecialists here now in our department. Kidney disease specialists, infectious disease specialists, heart doctors for children. If I see a patient with a problem that is outside my field of expertise, I can refer him either to another pediatrician or to some other specialty like an orthopedic doctor or a neurologist or an allergist or something like that. Our number one priority is providing patient care.
It's Wisconsin and it's November, and the weather is definitely a factor. Coach, how big of a factor is it here in the fourth quarter?
I think the wind right now is a factor for Sturgeon Bay because I think it's going to help them. It's directly at their back, and this moisture, of course, I don't think is a factor yet. It's still pretty light, but they're in a good position. The clock is in their favor. There's plenty of time, and if they could sustain a drive right now, they got a chance to get it done.
Straight ahead for about 5 yards. That's Quinn Mann, number 24, who's come in and done a pretty nice job replacing Chad Hoyska, but you can't help but miss a guy of Hoyska's caliber who's been out since early in the first quarter.
Well, you know, though, it's difficult, and I've experienced this a lot. I think in all of us coaches have done that, but you lose a player at about the third play, so you're not prepared to play without him. You've practiced with him, and all of a sudden they've adjusted beautifully. They've picked up without him, and I know he's a wonderful back from what I've heard, and it's very unfortunate that in a big, huge game like this, he has to miss it. But maybe, maybe he's motivated those kids to come on and play better.
We just had a look at number 31, Jeff Moravchak. Just a fascinating story. This young man was in serious trouble back in the summer. He had a 12-hour heart operation back in June. Doctors found an accelerated heartbeat. His heart was beating at about 200 beats per minute. They went in for surgery. They found some complications, but they took care of everything, and now they say he's in tremendous health, and it's just a miracle that he's back on the football field, and he's back out there for a reason. He's a heck of a player. He is the all-conference player, actually. He's an all-conference player, and beyond that, socially, he seems to have something going for him, too. He's the homecoming king. What a year it's been for that young man. It's good to see him out here. Second down, 10 yards to go. It seems like the rain and the wind might be picking up a little bit. Greisen throws, and it's complete again. Beautiful throw and catch by John Walker all the way down at the 25-yard line, and that's going to be another Sturgeon Bay first down.
That is an outstanding high school combination. Those two kids have worked a lot together. John Walker runs beautiful patterns, and he goes to the ball, he catches the ball, and of course Chris throws the ball in there. He sets up so well and puts the ball right on the money.
You know, and that's not just a little 10-yard pass. That's a pretty deep out pattern from the middle of the field. You've got to have a strong arm to throw that one.
He throws the ball like a college quarterback. He's got a strong arm, and he's an excellent player.
1st and 10 for the Clippers from the 25-yard line. That's man, and I don't think he got anything. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And there's number 31 again. Moravchuk in there to make the tackle. Brings up 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Down to now 7:20 to go in the football game. Ashland leads, but only by 6, 19-13.
Chris Grayson's got his feet tangled up a little bit there, and he was able to make the exchange, but those are scary plays because if you miss that exchange, that ball's loose. I think the tailback and Chris did an excellent job.
Boy, he threw that early interception, but since then he's been great. 13 out of 21 for almost 200 yards, and you can bet he's probably going to throw again, and he will right here. He throws into traffic, and it is intercepted. Intercepted at the 22-yard line by Ashland. A huge turnover there for Ashland. I'm not sure who made the pick, Coach. Let's take a look at the replay, and maybe we can pick out a number. On the deflection, yeah, that was number 63, Bergschneider, who made a tackle just a couple plays ago. This time he drops back into coverage, and another deflected pass and another turnover.
I don't think he saw number 11, who was pressing the wide out on that side. He dropped off him and stepped right in front of that play for a huge interception.
Big break for Ashland. Now they want to use as much of the clock as they possibly can. They give it to Watland, who goes forward off the left side for 4, maybe 5 yards. Tough break for the Clippers. They appeared to be on their way to getting very close to a score there. But give the Ashland defense credit again. And once again, these teams continue to move the ball down the field, but since the end of the first half, the defenses have come through and kept the opponents out of the end zone. 2nd down, 5 yards to go now for Ashland. Out of the wishbone again. Straight ahead to Lund. He fights forward to about the 29.
Ashland right now has gotten more conservative, and I can understand that there is a rain factor, and of course the time right now maybe is in their favor. It's just under 6 minutes.
Our director tells us those are happy fans, and I guess they're happy about the score right now, but I'm not so sure they're happy about what is coming out of the sky. But if it's going to rain, you might as well at least have the lead in the state championship game rather than stand there and get soaked and be on the short end of the score. 3rd down and 2. And Ashland will run out of that wishbone again. They need to get out to about the 32-yard line. They'll give it to Watland, and he's got the 32 and all the way out to the 34-yard line. Good power move by Watland, picking up another 1st down. Well, this is exactly the situation that the Ordockers love to be in. 6-point lead with the ball with time running out in the 4th quarter, and a guy like that who's got over 200 all-purpose yards in the game still in the backfield. That's a great situation. Another 1st down, a few more 1st downs, and Ashland's going to be able to run out the clock here. Good yardage up the middle. He is going to go all the way. Forget about Sean Lund. Touchdown, Ashland, and that may do it. Still 5 minutes to go in the ball game, but Lund broke through the middle, broke one tackle, and just accelerated and took off to the goal line. And now those fans are really, really happy. They don't even know it's raining out here.
That was Sean's 23rd touchdown of 1993. That's a great year.
Boy, look at the blocking. Watland leads the way, and he just breaks through, and this time, Greisen is not going to pull him down. It's a touchdown for Ashland, and they go up by 12 points, 25-13, with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the game. You know, it's just a matter of time before a team that can run the ball that well breaks a big one. They've been shut down for the most part in the 2nd half, but that time they got big yardage and they converted. Again, they'll go for 2. The throw by Zach, and it is, again, no good. So with 5:04 to go in the football game, it's Ashland 25 and Sturgeon Bay 13. We'll be back in a minute after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and Marshfield Clinic.
With the addition of the Lawton Center for Research and Education to the clinic, the opportunities for types of research projects, our ability to compete for outside funding for grants has improved dramatically. There are many treatments that we have in medicine and many diagnostic tests that need to be improved. And there is no way that we'll be able to improve those treatments and tests without research.
Pride, dedication. They're not just words to the young men and women who make it to the WIAA playoffs. Whether it's football or boys or girls basketball, these young people show us what it means to be champions. At the Rural Insurance Companies, we're proud to sponsor the WIAA Sportsmanship Awards. It's the one honor that embodies the ideal that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
There's Sean Lund. He's over the 100-yard mark, too, after that 64-yard touchdown run, putting his team on top 25-13 with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Normally, you'd think the game might be over, but when you've got an offense that's as explosive as Sturgeon Bay, you can't say that because the Clippers can get back into it in a hurry. They're a big play type of team. Kickoff returned out to about the 36-yard line by Tom Ellenbecker, and Sturgeon Bay will start from there. And, Coach, you pretty much have to throw the ball, put it up in the air just about every play at this stage of the game, don't you?
I think that they will do that, and I think that they've got a chance, if they could drive down and get one in the next 2 to 3 minutes, they have a shot certainly to win this ballgame, because offensively, they are very capable.
Now, remember, the clock will stop on every first down, right, like the college game. And, of course, the clock will stop when they get out of bounds. So there's plenty of time to get back in it. And we saw how fast these teams can score. We saw 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes in the first half, almost 3 touchdowns. So Sturgeon Bay still has confidence that they can do it. The throw by Greisen, it's complete out beyond the 45, out to about the 50-yard line for a first down for Sturgeon Bay, and they stop the clock.
They lined up with the 3 receivers set to the right, and of course they curled 1 man underneath, and the quarterback threw an excellent strike to him and had a good play. Clock is stopped as he moved the chains, and they're ready to go.
Jim Adams, the senior tight end, makes the play.
And again, trips are set to the right. 3 receivers to the left side.
Down to 4:50 to go. 25-13. Ashland with the 12-point lead here in the Division III state championship game. Greisen under pressure. Scrambling now, throws. Walker's all alone at the 35-yard line, and he'll get out of bounds at about the 30. It's hard to believe how wide open Walker was.
Well, they ran those receivers all together, and of course, 84 just stopped and came underneath, and again, Greisen made an excellent setup, and he threw the ball right where he should throw it.
Greisen again showing how mobile he is. Again, he got some pressure, but sensed where it was coming from and got to the outside and bought himself some time. So that's 2 straight passes, 2 straight first downs. It's another 1st and 10 from the Ashland 31-yard line. Still 4:37 to go in the game. Greisen back. This time he's going to run it. He'll pump, he'll run. He's at the, I was going to say the 20, but he never got to the 20-yard line. A big hit there by Lund, I believe, and that may have also been number 20, Ben Sandin. Not very often when you see a guy 6'4", 202 pulled down like that, but Lund just grabbed him around the shoulder pads and pulled him right down, and we've got an injured Ashland Ordocker on the field right now. You can't see who that is. We'll try to get a number to you in just a minute. Looks like Richard McKeever, number 62. McKeever is down, and they're being very careful with him right now. A 185-pound senior. Let's take another look at this play, Coach. Okay, 62 McKeever trailing, and he just got drilled up high on a good block. He wasn't expecting it, but the good news is there he is. McKeever is up, And off the field, I think he just got his bell rung, as they say, but he's going to be okay.
Ashland has been rushing 4 defenders right now, dropping 7 people off in the coverage, and we'll take a look again and see if they do the same thing.
That was a 9-yard run by Chris Greisen, bringing up 2nd down and 1. Sturgeon Bay trying to get over the 300-yard mark in total offense, and they're not going to do it here. Greisen still avoids the rush, throws long for Adams, and he had Adams, but he overthrew him. He either overthrew Adams or underthrew Walker back there.
I think what happened, first of all, he got pressured a lot, and he had to throw the ball at that time a little later than he needed to. But he's amazing to see how he gets out of the pressure.
Borowczyk had a clean run at him, but he just missed him.
3rd and 1 situation, so it's they're again in trips to the right side. 3 receivers on the upper part of the field to the right.
Let's see if they throw a run. No, they're going to run. Greisen straight ahead. He'll just sneak it for good yardage all the way down to the 15-yard line. No problem at all. There was nobody over the center, so Greisen easily picks up the first down. The clock, though, the key story in this game right now, we're down to 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go. The clock will remain stopped until they spot the ball and move the chains. Ashland on top by 12, 25-13, but Sturgeon Bay threatening right here. Greisen straight back. He's under heavy pressure again. Scrambling, and this time he laterals. He laterals the ball to Hunsinger. An unbelievable play. Not much of a gain. It would have been about a 6-yard loss, but what presence of mind by Greisen.
He really has some unusual skills. I haven't followed him before, but he really looks like a college quarterback playing this game, the way he sets up and the way he delivers the ball.
Okay, the clock is still rolling. 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go. 2nd down at about 7 yards to go as we look at that play. Greisen back in the pocket, under pressure, still standing. Gets to the outside. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's at the 1. He is not quite in the end zone. Another tremendous effort by Chris Greisen, who's going to take a timeout. Our director is telling us this is how you draw him up on the board. Coach, I guess if you've got a 6'4", 202-pound quarterback who runs over people, you might draw up this play.
You could draw it up, but I don't think they drew that one up. But I'll tell you what, he made something happen, and there wasn't very much there. If they can get this in, they're going to have 3 minutes left in this ball game. And, of course, the problem for them is if they have to kick the ball deep, if they do score right now, Ashland has the ability to hang on to it. So they may go with the onside kick if they can get this one in. The trips are set to the top again.
Greisen going to keep it. That's a good call. The way he runs the ball, that's a touchdown. So with 3:22 to go in the game, the Clippers are right back in it. It's 25-19. And those fans who were so down a little while ago are getting a little happier on this near side. The Clippers are back in it with 3:22 to go. Greisen with a 1-yard touchdown sneak. All right, let's see. What do you do, Coach? They're going to kick it. Is this a good call?
I think it probably is the right thing to do right now because it's a 6-point ball game, and it'll cut that to 5.
Good snap. The ball's down, and the kick is up.
It's good.
And it's good.
Now they can score it, so it's going to be enough to get it done.
25-20 with 3:22 to go in the football game. Boy, we expected a good one, and I think we've gotten that and then some. It's quite a drive, Coach.
That was a great drive. This game really has been a terrific game to watch. It's hard for me to sit here and make comments because I'm not used to doing this, but just to be a spectator, it's been excellent. I've been impressed with both of these teams very much.
Yeah, the folks in red are fired up again. They know they've got a chance. Interesting question here with 3:22 to go in the game, down by 5. Do you kick it deep and let the Ashland wishbone offense take over, or is it time to try the onside kick? What do you think?
The thing that would concern me is about letting Ashland have that ball with this kind of time, because there's that chance you may never get a chance to touch the ball again. I guess if I were in this situation, I'd probably try the onside kick right here and hope he got it that way. But as good as that offensive unit is out of that wishbone, they could easily run 3.5 minutes off that clock.
Well, here's Greisen. He runs up. He's going to onside kick it, and it is recovered by Ashland. Great job down there by number 6, Aaron Big Boy.
That really was, because that ball was coming hard, and he made an excellent play.
Aaron Big Boy dove for it and got it. That might be one of the biggest plays in this senior's career. I tell you what, if he doesn't make that play and Sturgeon Bay scoops it up, his team is in trouble. Good looking onside kick. He got the ball bouncing nicely, but it took that high hop a little early, I suppose.
Yeah, he didn't get the short hop. If that ball would have died about 2 yards sooner, it would have been much more difficult, and they would have been in a great position. But they still can stop him right now, and they've got all their timeouts left, so they've got a shot if they can play great defense right here.
Ashland by 5 with 3:02 and the ball. 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. They're going to give the ball straight ahead to Lund. Lund picks up 2 yards, maybe. The clock continues to roll down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Timeouts become very critical right now. Sturgeon Bay has 2 timeouts left. Ashland doesn't need them right now, but if they do, they've got 3 timeouts to go. Bob McLeod is soaked over on the far sideline. He's not complaining about that just now. His team up by 5. 2nd down and 8. The Sturgeon Bay defense really trying to dig in. Here's Watland. Watland has a hole. He's got room. He's at the 40-yard line, and he's dragged down there, and that's going to be enough for a key Ashland 1st down.
That is a big concern, of course, of giving the ball back to Ashland, because they, again, are so capable of using the clock and gaining or holding possession of the football. And it's a big problem right now for Sturgeon Bay. Somebody needs to make a huge play in this ball game to either force a fumble or to put them in a long situation they can use their timeouts.
2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. One more 1st down just might do it for the Ordockers here. They'll give it to Lund. Lund inside the 40 down to the 36. 4-yard gain. And Sturgeon Bay quickly going to call a timeout with 1 minute and 55 seconds to go. You know, on defense, you pretty much have to give up on the pass and you sell out for the run, but even when you do that against a team like Ashland, there's no guarantee that you're going to stop the run.
Yeah, it really makes it difficult, and I think at this stage of the game, obviously they're doing that, but sometimes just the way, as well as they run that, sometimes no matter what you do, it's not going to contain them the way you need to right now.
Boy, I think you're probably glad around the state of Wisconsin that you joined us today. We've seen a great game, a great first game. This one's been good, and our next one should be good, too. We want to say hello to all the folks at WKBT TV, Channel 8 in La Crosse, Eau Claire, carrying all 6 games out in western Wisconsin. Good to have them along. Also, all the viewers of TCI Cable in Madison in southern Wisconsin. All 6 games are being seen live in your area as well, thanks to TCI and sales manager Tim Rail for his support. Lots of folks getting an opportunity to watch this great game and watch Ashland put a total of 397 yards on the statistics chart. That is a new Division III rushing record. 366 rushing yards, a new Division III record. The thing is, that's right about on their average. They came in averaging 357 yards. Back to the action. 2nd down and 5. Watland has it, and he has, I think, another 1st down at the 30-yard line. He needed to get to the 30, and he is very close to the strike. 1:49 to go. The official's taking a look at it, and I think he is just short. And, Coach, I think it may have been better off for Sturgeon Bay if he would have picked it up there, because they only need an inch to go. If they get the 1st down now, they should be able to run out the clock.
Yes, if they get this 1st down right here, they can really, I think, drop down and with the quarterback drop to a knee and end it that way.
1:32 to go. Ashland trying to milk the clock as much as they can. They lead by 5. They're a minute and a half away from a state championship. Watland gets it. He gets the 1st down, just barely, but it is a 1st down at the 29-yard line, and that'll move the chains again, and that ought to do it. Sturgeon Bay with just 1 timeout to go, and the clock will restart with 1:17 to go as soon as they move the sticks. And I think Sturgeon Bay just running out of time. Give Ashland a lot of credit for getting the ball after the onside kick and grinding out a couple of tough 1st downs.
They did exactly what I guess I had mentioned, that when you give the ball back to them like that, that offense with that kind of speed is capable of maintaining a drive, and of course that was the worst thing that could happen.
Watland at 184 yards. 2 touchdowns rushing, and he actually has 3 touchdowns on the game. His other touchdown was on a pass reception, so he's had himself another great high school football game. 1st and 10, the clock moving again. 1:04 to go for Ashland, and they're going to wait as long as they possibly can. Only one timeout left for the Clippers. Jason Zack going to hand the ball off to Lund, and Lund gets a yard, but it doesn't matter. What's more important for Ashland is that clock continues to run. Sturgeon Bay going to take its last time out now with 48 seconds to go. Tell you what, it was a very entertaining high school football game, wouldn't you say?
I thought it was a terrific game to watch, as I said before, and of course, you know, it's difficult because of the preparation with Chad Huiska being hurt like he was and not playing. You don't know the impact, but I think that the kids from Sturgeon Bay really picked up their game, and they played very well, and Ashland has done things so well, particularly on offense, that it makes it difficult. And I can understand why both of these teams are 12-0. Together they've won 24 football games and haven't lost. So
Sean Lund, 163 yards, and he's a little under his season per carry average at 10.9. Came in averaging about 12, but he'll take it. He'll take it. He'll remember this game for a long, long time. He and his running mates both go well over the 100-yard mark. Sean Watland, I don't think Paul Tudor is going to get 100 yards, but he had a nice game, got some hard-earned yards up the middle when they needed them. And Ashland pretty much played just the way the Scotty report read. Keep the ball on the ground, grind it out, and average a lot of yards per carry. And that's going to win them a state championship, probably. 48 seconds to go. Jason Zack takes a knee, gets hit at about the 30-yard line. 42 seconds to go. No timeouts left for Sturgeon Bay, and the folks who stayed up in Ashland, and I don't think there were too many of them, are probably starting to celebrate, Coach.
I believe so. Bob McLeod told me that they would throw the ball 3 or 4 times a game, and I think he was right on schedule. I think they threw for an extra point 1 or 2 other times, and that's been all. But their running game is really impressive, and as I said before, speed is just so vital when you play this game, and that was a difference probably today.
Zach goes down again, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Now they're celebrating. The Ashland Ore Dockers are the 1993 Division III state champions. (25-20), the final score. Ashland over Sturgeon Bay in a great high school football game. We'll be back. We'll talk to the winning coach in just a minute. But first, these messages from our local stations. This is the WIAA Football Network. Well, there's your final score. Ashland beats Sturgeon Bay in the WIAA Division III championship game, 25-20. Charlie, I wasn't so sure it was going to be a high-scoring game, even though both offenses came in, with great credentials. You told me it was going to be high-scoring, but you know what impressed me? The defenses, I thought, did play particularly well in the second half. A lot of offenses, but the defense made big plays when they needed to, in general.
I thought they did, especially in the third quarter. Both of them came out and played extremely well. As I said earlier, both those teams are excellent football teams. They're so well coached, and they play with great athletes, and they're spirited kids. It was a very impressive ball game.
Okay, time for some awards. They're going to give out some hardware down on the field. We send it over now to PA announcer Jack Rain.
To present the awards, our Board of Control members, Mark Lakey, the principal at Edgar High School. and Ken Wagner, the Department of Public Instruction Liaison to the Board of Control. Assisted by Doug Chickering, the Executive Director of the WIAA. World captains Zach Juarez, John Peterson, Chad Hoyska, and Chris Greisen of Division III runner-up Sturgeon Bay, please come forward. And Coach Gordy Sarin of Division III runner-up Sturgeon Bay, please come forward to receive the runner-up trophy. Captains Sean Lund and Mike Shimelak of Division III state champions Ashland. Please come to the awards table and receive the individual medals for your team. And the coach of the 1993 Division III state champions from Ashland High School, Robert McLeod.
There it is, the Ashland Ore Dockers enjoying the gold trophy. I think they'll find a real prominent spot for that one in the Ashland High School trophy case. And those fans, however, they're very wet. They're still very happy people over there on the far side of the field. Coach, I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was really exciting for me to do this and to be part of the announcing. And I was also like a fan up here watching that ball game. A very enjoyable game, and I thought it was an outstanding effort by all the kids, really.
Head coach Bob McLeod, his fourth year has been a good one. He goes home with the state championship. It's been a great day here at Camp Randall. Just quickly filling you in on what happened. Fall Creek beat Darlington in the Division 5 game. You just saw Ashland won. Don't forget to stick around because